Hey, okay. Let's see who's here. Let's share this out. Okay, make sure this is on. Mm. Okay, let's share this. Hi, Astrid, how are you? Nice to see you. Say hi, let's see who's here. And let me just share this out into the group. And if you would like to share it, I would so appreciate that as well. Hi, Danielle. How are you, Danielle? Haven't seen you in a while. Say hi. What have you been up to? It's been a minute. Let's see. I'm just going to share this into the group real quick, and then we will dive into today's topic. Okay. Tracy, what's up? Hi, I have not heard from you or seen you in a long time. How are you doing, Tracy? Good afternoon. I love seeing you guys live. I'm super excited for the next few days because I'm going to be going live every single night for the next week. Same time, same place, and a bunch of really great topics that I've been getting some requests for. So we're going to talk today all about the 5 things every coach needs to stop and start doing to grow their business. But before I dive in, I'm just going to wait a few more minutes, let a few more people hop on. Aloha, Tracy. How is the weather in Hawaii? Oh my gosh, Tracy, I'm so jealous. Every time I see your name, I think about how gorgeous it must be where you are right now. Good, perfect. So it's all shared out and we're all good. All right. So let's dive in. So today, you guys, as I said, I want to talk about the 5 things that every coach needs to stop and start doing to grow their business. I'm going to minimize my screen so that I can see both right here, and I can see my notes because I did make notes today because I want to have them both up as we go through this. Okay. Here we are. Pretty nice. I'm hoping for another 4 months of summer, right? We're heading into fall now. And I got to tell you, I do love fall. I love the warm winter, the apple cider and the boots and the beautiful scarves and the falling leaves. Fall is my favorite month. So I'm excited for fall. Winter is the one that I don't really look forward to. Okay. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Safia Sattar, business coach and offer strategist, and I help business owners generate greater revenue and results by creating their profitable programs and offers. And today, like I said, I wanted to talk about this topic because I know that most people who are struggling to kind of grow their business and they aren't really gaining momentum or they feel stuck, it's because they're not seeing results. And the reason why that is because most of the times it's because they're not focusing their time and energy on the right things. So over my years of being in business, of helping all the clients that I've helped, what I've seen and the trend, and I know that there are certain things that we, that coaches and even business owners in general do that distracts them from their focus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the 5 things you need to stop doing first, and then we're going to talk about the 5 things you should be doing instead. Okay? And you guys, as I go through it, feel free, leave me comments. Let me know if any of the stuff that I'm saying resonates for you, if it's stuff that you know you're guilty of, and it's all good. There's no judgment. Or if we're talking about the things that you should be doing and you're doing those things, then big props to you because you're on the right track. Tracy says I'm a little jealous. Oh, of the fall. You're not going to be jealous in the winter, Tracy. Trust me. All right, so let's get into it. because I'm only here for 30 minutes. So the first thing that you need to stop doing in your business, if you're doing this, is wasting time and energy on social media. Okay, don't burn me at the stake. I'm a social media girl, and I know that there is a time and a place for building relationships on social media and for posting and for connecting with your people. But here's the thing. That should only be taking you 20 to like maybe 25 minutes. I would even say 15 to 20 minutes per day on social media. And that's even if you have a group. If you run a group and you're the host of a group and the leader of the group, you still should not be spending a whole ton of your time on social media, with the exception, of course, of doing live trainings like these or hosting master classes or doing live streams, things of that nature. That's an exception. But what happens is people, they go onto social media and they go online, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's, Pinterest, wherever, LinkedIn, and they go online with the intention to connect, right, with potential clients and with the intention to share their business and with the intention to build their know, like, and trust and to get brand awareness. And what happens is one post leads to another, and before you know it, you've been on social media for about an hour, right? And that's an hour that you could have been doing something much more productive for your business. So social media is a great tool for marketing. It is one of my favorite tools for marketing, and I use it all the time. But what I suggest doing is, if you know that you're going online and you know that you're falling into the trap of, okay, I'm just going to check online, and the next thing you know, it's 30 minutes later and you're still in that group and you're responding to comments and all of that nature, what I would recommend is dedicating some time in the morning and some time in the afternoon to check in. So that could be, 5-10 minutes in the morning, 5-10 minutes in the afternoon. Check in, get to your messages, respond to your posts, do your liking, do your engaging, do your connecting in that time period. Because the last thing you want to do is get trapped in the news feeds and scrolling and the groups and what's going on in this one and what's going on in that one. And then you've lost focus and you've just become distracted from doing more productive things in your business. If you're guilty of that, give me a 1 in the comments, because I know I too am guilty of that at times. So you're not alone if that's something that you find yourself doing. But if you're trying to grow your business and you're using social media as a tool to grow your business, and you're finding that you're spending way too much time there, give me a heart, give me an emoji, give me something, because that's the thing that's distracting you from actually growing your business when you're trying to get online, trying to grow it. So use it. As with everything else, have a strategy in place, have an intention in place, set your boundaries, and make sure that the time that you're spending, you're using it purposefully, right? And then obviously you can use it for personal things and you can use it for recreation and all that good stuff. But when you're in your working hours, you want to make sure that your focus is on doing activities, and I'm going to talk about this in a bit, that will move that needle forward in your business. I don't see any hearts and emojis, so that means that nobody is getting distracted on social media. So that's a good thing. Okay, the second thing you should stop doing, and this is another one that might be a little controversial, but just hear me out, is you should stop constantly giving away free content. Okay, I know that it's important to lead with value. Yes, it's important to lead with value. It's one of the things that I teach. It's one of the things that I promote. It's one of the things I advocate for. It is so important to lead with value. It's so important to give to your community for free, 100%. And you want to do that as you build your audience, right? But if there is no strategy or plan in place to actually move your audience, right, who's consuming that stuff for free, into a deeper relationship with you, then all you're doing, and I want you to hear me on this, all you're doing is training your audience to not buy from you. All you're doing is training your audience to consistently and constantly expect you to just give away free value, free value, free value. And what you're actually doing is training your audience to get used to just consuming and expecting all of the answers and all of the solutions to come from you for free, right? You want to have some free value, of course. You want to really be giving away free content, of course, but there has to be a ratio there, right? There has to be a ratio of free to paid content. And the ratio that I like to teach is like the 3-to-1. So for every 3 pieces of free content that you put out into the world or you share with your audience, you want to make sure that there's 1 piece that you're asking for something back in return. So that's where you create that even energy exchange, right? And the thing that you're asking back for return doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. You don't always have to be asking them for the sale, right? You could be asking them for feedback. You could be asking them to opt into something. You can be asking them to hop onto a free call with you. The point here is you've got to be able to balance out the amount of free content that you're sharing with and making sure that you're also asking for the sale enough so that you're not training people to think of your business as Google, because your business is not Google. And even Google is a business, right? So you want your people to recognize you as an authority. You want your people to recognize you as a business, but you also want your people to value what you're giving away. And when you do that so often for free, when they get so used to seeing everything you're giving away for free, you're training them to not buy from you. Tell me if that makes sense for anyone. About to run, you'll catch the replay. Okay, great, Danielle. Let me know if you have any questions when you watch the replay. Gia says, hi, it's weird because I'm more undisciplined on Instagram than on Facebook, maybe because of the accountability groups on Facebook. Yeah, so Instagram is a different platform, right? So Instagram, you don't have as much engagement. You don't have as much, Instagram is one of those places where it's like hit and run. You consume it and you're good. With Facebook, you can dive a lot deeper. You can go a lot deeper on Facebook because there's opportunity for the commenting back and forth and for following from this group to that group into that group. So it's easier to get sucked in on Facebook. Tracy says, I hate Facebook and I try to limit my time on Instagram, but I do love it. Yes to strategy. Yes to strategy. Okay, good. Okay. Yes to 3-to-1 rule. Perfect. Okay. So hi, Dana. Thanks for joining us. All right. So let me know if the free value, the ratio, the training your audience thing resonates for you. Let me know if that makes sense for you. Okay. The third thing that you should stop doing is tweaking. Okay. And this goes for tweaking your website, tweaking your copy, tweaking your pages, your graphics, your posts, trying to get things perfect. Done is better than perfect. And more than likely, I'm not saying this is the case for everyone, but more than likely, if you find yourself spending a lot of time tweaking and perfecting your website and hours on Canva and designing images and graphics and working on all the things behind the scenes, more than likely you're avoiding taking the actions that you really need to be taking. More than likely you're avoiding something bigger, right? So we can't hide behind the screen forever. We can't hide behind the websites and the graphics forever. Those things, it's nice to have, but done is better than perfect. And sometimes, actually most times, I'm also a huge advocate for taking imperfect action. So the more time you spend tweaking and perfecting and trying to get it just right, the less time you're actually spending on the things you need to be doing to grow your business, to move your business forward. And guys, here's the thing. Most of the time, no one sees those little tiny imperfections. It's usually just us trying to get the color just right, or trying to get the words just right, or trying to get everything just right. More than likely, people aren't seeing that, right? People come to your website, people read a post, people read a blog, people see your graphics, people see whatever. And it's the words, it's the things behind the words, it's reading between the lines, it's the message that's there. That's what's resonating for them. And so it's less about being perfect. In fact, now more than ever, marketing has become so much more about vulnerability and showing that authenticness and authenticity and being real, more so than having everything crisped and polished and in place, right? Now, I'm not saying, just get away with typos and all that good stuff. You obviously want to make sure that it's professional and you're not like bawling in front of the screen. But it's not about getting things perfect. If you're focusing on perfection, you're never going to move your business forward, because there's always going to be something to perfect, right? Okay, cool. Thing number 4 that you want to stop doing is waiting for everything to feel right, okay? Waiting for the thing that you're trying to do, or, whatever the thing is, to just feel right. So this is a big one. And the thing is, it's not just, so here's what I want to say about this one. There's a difference between when something just feels inauthentic, or if something feels like it's just not in alignment, right? Then you want to pay attention to that. You want to make sure that you check in with yourself, and you want to make sure that you're really asking the right questions and taking the right steps so that that is clear. But if once you've checked that and you know that that's in place, but you just don't feel like doing something, then that's another thing that you need to stop waiting for. You need to stop waiting for the divine download to hit, or for the signs to come, or for the universe to open up. If we were working for someone else, right, and we woke up and we just didn't feel like going to work, or we had a project to do and we just didn't feel like doing it and we didn't do it, what would happen? We'd probably get fired, we'd lose our jobs, something like that would happen. It just would not be acceptable. So why is it that we make it acceptable for our business, right? It's the same thing here. Your business, you can't, there are times when we might not feel like doing something. And the truth is, if you've checked in with that, like I said before, the misalignment and the whole being inauthentic factor, and you know that that's not the case, and that's not what it is, then more than likely, that same feeling, it goes back to the other one before, it's that thing that's just keeping you small. It's that gremlin that's trying to keep you safe. So if you're new to something, it's going to be scary, right? If you've never done it before, if it's something that you're not comfortable with, if it's something that is outside of that comfort zone, then it's going to feel scary. But it's really, really important to pay attention from where it's coming from, and then recognizing that if I just don't feel like it, you've just got to start taking action, because you can't keep talking yourself out of it. That's when you stay stuck in your business, when you talk yourself out of it just because, I just don't feel like it. If you just don't feel like it, your business is going to stay stuck there. Okay, thing number 5 that you need to stop doing is trying to do it all by yourself. So trying to start or grow a business by yourself is not easy, right? Every single smart and successful business owner will tell you that their business grew once they got the support they needed in the areas that they needed. So, I'm all for DIYing, right? And I'm all for really trying to do as much as you can on your own. But I think that there is a place where that the amount of time you're trying to spend figuring something out, or you're hitting the wall and you're not making progress, or you're stuck in a cycle of redoing the same thing over and over and over, there is that there is that place where now you know this is where I need support, right? And this is where you know that if it's draining you, it's consuming too much of your time, it's keeping you stuck from moving forward, then this is where you need to get the support that you need to move your business forward. And that could be, it all depends on you, and it all depends on what that area is. It could be that you are trying to do all the things. You could be trying to manage your clients and run your social media and run your family, right? And the help you might need might be to get somebody to help you at home so you can do your business. Or the help you might need might be to get somebody to help you with your social media. And I know Tracy is great with this, but your social media so that you can, show up for your clients more powerfully, right? Or the help you need might be getting a VA to help you with some of the marketing or some of the, the other stuff behind the scenes so that you can focus on sales conversations and generating leads and doing the marketing and doing some of that other stuff. So it could be a VA, it could be a coach, it could be whatever you need. But trying to figure it out and doing it all on your own is only going to lead you to burnout. And when you lead to burnout, you're going to hit the wall and nothing is going to happen in your business. So let me take a quick check-in, but before I move on to the things that you should start doing. All right. Guilty. Okay. 4 isn't a problem for me. Good. I used to wait for the right feeling. It's held me back for so long. Yes, absolutely. Delegate. Absolutely. Divide and conquer. Delegate. And you have to pick and choose, because I think there's also a way where, if you know that something is in your zone of genius and you can do this. So here's an example. So I've hired out certain things before in my business, and the time that it's taken me to go back and auto correct and make the tweaks and change and tell them it wasn't right and back and forth. Now that could have just been that particular company, but I could have done that myself. So there's certain things that it's like, okay, if I know I can knock that out or I can do that and I can dedicate, a couple of hours and I can knock that out, then I'll do that, right? But if I know that it's for a bigger task that's going to distract me from my main focus, I always delegate, I always outsource, I always do what I can to make sure that I stay into my zone of genius and I can show up for the things that I need to show up for in my business. Okay. Shizoto, that's what we're here. Exactly. Okay, so those were the 5 things you need to stop doing. Let's move into the 5 things you need to start doing in order to grow your business. Okay, thing number 1 is planning. You need to be planning. And I'm going to say this again, planning. You need to be planning in your business on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis. You need to know what you have on deck, what future projects you want to work on, what are your income projections, what's your client list look like now, and when are those clients going to be off that you need to know what you need to do next to bring in income. You need to be planning. Make planning your best friend, because honestly, the time it takes you to plan. I mean, sometimes I like to schedule a CEO day and I'll sit down and I'll map out my quarterly goals and I'll have a full, I have it here on my thing, a full quarterly goals. And the thing is with planning is that it is the number 1 way to avoid overwhelm. And it's the number 1 thing that will help you in those moments when you're feeling stuck or you're unsure of what you need to do or how you want to move things forward, right? If you're waking up every morning and you're kind of like shooting the breeze and you're just plunging into your business without an intention or without a plan, you're selling yourself short, because, you might have some great months and you might be able to like get by on luck by getting some results. But if you don't know, and it's going to lead into the next thing I'm going to talk about, but if you don't have a plan in place, it's going to be very hard for you to actually replicate that going forward, right? So that brings me to thing number 2 you need to start doing. and that's tracking your numbers. Tell me in the comments who here loves to track their numbers or is taking the time tracking their numbers. Let me see. Planning is my Achilles heel. Yeah. Planning. Okay. Tracking your numbers. So there was a quote that I heard a little while ago. I can't remember from where, but it said, the difference between a business and a hobby is the tracking. So we need that data in order to help us to make strategic decisions, right? So just like I said before, let's say you're someone who's able to, enroll clients and you have luck enrolling clients, right? But you're not tracking your process and your system and you don't know how you're doing that. It's going to be very difficult for you to replicate that in the future because it's kind of like, oh, I just did this thing and it worked. But now if I want to repeat that, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what the heck it was that I did, but it worked, right? That's not what we want. We want to really be able to know exactly what it is that you do. You want to put a system and a process in place so that you can replicate those results. So that if you hire a team, if you expand, if you're away from your business, that you can pass that off and other people will be able to replicate those results for you as well to help you have a business, a life outside of your business. So for me, there are there are 5 key numbers that I track. In fact, I'm going to start tracking 1 or 2 more, but for right now, there are 5 key numbers that I track religiously in my business. And those are my sales conversations. So how many sales conversations I'm having every single month. So those are your leads. The second is how many times you're asking for the sale. So that's slightly different from sales conversations in the sense that the sales conversations are the actual, come here, baby. Somebody just woke up. 1 second, you guys. Okay, shh. Those are the amount of discovery calls, strategy calls, actual sales conversations that you're having, right? The second one is how often are you asking for those conversations? How often are you asking for the sales, right? The next number you want to track is your conversion rates. So for me, that's if I have 10 sales conversations or 10 discovery calls, how many of those are converting? So you want to track those conversion rates. The other numbers you want to track is your income and your expenses. Get really, really comfortable tracking your numbers because when you're familiar with your numbers and you're tracking your numbers, that's where it ties back into planning, right? When you can look and you know where your money is going, where your money is flowing, then you'll know, okay, if there's this month, you're running a shortage or, a client is about to be up or whatever the case may be, and you have a plan in place so that you can fill that spot so that you don't ever have to be in that roller coaster cycle of not knowing where your money is going to come from or not having consistent income. So those are the numbers that I track. Okay. Thing number 3 you need to start doing is, and this is a big one that I advocate for like crazy, and that is focusing on revenue generating activities, okay? Revenue generating activities. This comes back to the things that you need, some of the things that you need to stop doing in your business, right? These are activities that are directly related to and impacts your revenue, okay? So I like to think about it like the 80-20 rule. So what 20% of my activities that I'm doing on a daily and a weekly basis is going to generate 80% of my results for my revenues, right? If you are spending hours on social media, that's not a revenue generating activity. If you're tweaking your website, that's not a revenue generating activity. Revenue generating activities are those things that are going to drive sales in your business. It's having sales conversations, whether that's one-on-one, whether that's a group, whether that's a webinar, whether that's a masterclass where you're asking for the sale. Activities that will help you generate revenue is a revenue generating activity. Everything else should be done after you've completed your revenue generating activities for the day. Okay. Number 4, the next thing you should start doing is building and nurturing your list and your community. So this is something that's talked about a lot. I'm not the first person to say how important it is to build a list and to grow a list. But it's such an important piece of your marketing, because one of the biggest questions I get asked so often is, well, how do I find clients, or where do I find clients? Well, if you're putting in the work to build a community, then you don't have to look very far, right? But you want to make sure that you're actually building a list and building a community of high quality, really targeted people. You want to make sure that you're filling your community with people who are really here for what you have to offer and what you have to sell. Okay, thing number 5. This is pretty obvious, but a very big one as well. And that is sales, sales, sales. If you are not asking for the sale consistently, then you need to start doing that like yesterday, okay? This is, again, where the planning and the tracking will tie in. You're in business to make money. Now, I'm not saying that every single conversation that you have has to be driven around money, or you have to constantly be asking people to shell out money and pay you or work with you or buy this or buy that from you. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is, again, it comes back to that ratio of free value to asking for the sale. If you're not selling, you are sinking. Your business is driven by sales. That is the only way that you can actually call yourself a business. And too many people are not asking for the sale enough because they're uncomfortable asking for the sale. They feel like they're not good at sales. They don't want to be salesy, or whatever the case may be. Whatever story you're making up, that's the thing. You need to figure out how to shut that down. Because if you're not asking for the sales consistently, that is something that is, your business is always going to stay here, and it's never going to move ahead unless you can strategically find ways and ways that feels authentic to you, obviously, to get sales and to drive sales into your business. Okay, let's see. Let me pop over here for the comments. Tracy says, you don't measure what you don't track. Exactly. Hey, Katrina, how are you? So great to see you. Let's see. Systems and process. Safi, would you class follow-up calls for would you follow-up calls for extending a client contract or an upsell, a revenue? Would you call? Okay, I get what you're saying. Yes, I think a follow-up call is definitely a revenue generating activity, because that is something that could end in a sale, right? The time that you're taking to have a conversation with a potential client is 100% a revenue generating activity. So yes, Gia, Tracy, I need to do this. I'm now seeing the value in a list. Oh, 100%. Tracy, I didn't start growing my list until about year 2 in my business. I was one of those people that was like, okay, that's something I'll get to. But my business has, oh my gosh, it is like exploded once I started growing my list. And once I started, it's not just about growing, you know this, it's also about nurturing, right? And making sure that you are nurturing your community, whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's your list, whether it's, whatever, you're nurturing that community as well, not just growing it, but really, really taking the time to connect and nurture that community as well. Okay, guys, let me recap real quick. So the 5 things you need to stop doing is wasting time and energy on social media. Only spend 15 to 20 minutes per day networking and socializing on social media when it comes to business. Okay, what you do in your free time for your personal life, that's on you. Okay, the second thing, stop constantly giving away free content. You're only training your audience to not buy from you. Okay, the third thing, stop tweaking your website, your copy, your pages, your graphics. Done is better than perfect. Thing number 4, stop waiting for it to feel right. Just move through it, get it done, check in, make sure that it's not an authentic thing, an inauthenticity thing, or a misalignment thing. Once it's not that, power through. We just sometimes gotta pick up we just gotta do it. We just gotta light that fire under our own butts and get it done. Stop waiting for it to feel right. The 5th thing that you need to stop doing is trying to do it all by yourself. Get the support that you need. It will make your life and your business so much easier. Okay, and the 5 things you need to start doing is planning. Plan on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis. Thing number 2, track your numbers. Track your sales conversions, your sales conversations, how many times you're asking for the sales, your conversion rates, your income, and your expenses. The 3rd thing you need to start doing is just focusing your time on revenue generating activities. Do that first. Do your revenue generating activities in the first part of your day, preferably before noon. Get those done the first part of your day, and then you can start focusing on all the other things. Okay? Thing number 4, building and nurturing your list and your community. And thing number 5 that you need to start doing, if you're not doing it already, is consistently asking for the sale. Okay, I hope this was helpful, you guys. Let me see. Tracy, I visited your IG pages. Okay, great. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions. That is all for today. I am going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Hopefully she's asleep or outside playing, I don't know. But we'll be back tomorrow with another day of, let me see, what's my topic lined up for tomorrow? Should I tell you guys now? Let me tell you. My topic for tomorrow is how to talk about your business so your potential clients listen and buy from you. So I'm going to be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. to talk about that. Let me see. Let's look at any other questions before I go in. Super helpful. It's awesome as always. Safia, thank you. Shizoto. Safia, do you have any tips for planning or templates? Honestly, Excel or Google Sheets has been my favorite. I have my own little system I have in place, and I have something that I share with my clients. In fact, I do a full intensive on planning, and I do that with my clients as well. But for me, my go-to as a template in terms of tracking my numbers, I use a Google Sheets for that. And I also have, like I said, like a template that I use for planning. But that's like my go-to because I like that I can access that offline. I can access that while I'm getting my nails done, or, you know, I don't need to be particularly on my computer to see, like, check in with my numbers. Okay, perfect. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, morning, rest of your day. Bye.